coming in off a 2-0 Thursday, staying red hot. 7 of the last 8 days in the green. Yesterday, big time dog with the Nats, and then we get a cheap favorite there with Minnesota. Makes it a 2-0 night, keeps it on rolling heading into the weekend. Shout out to everybody who's been tuning in throughout the week. Hopefully, you guys have been making some money. Of course, shout out to our members. Hopefully, we keep this going through football. If you guys haven't, like, comment, subscribe, keep the engagement up. Today, we will, well, one time you guys see this, we've already had the first $100 giveaway. Doing that on Fridays at our 12 o'clock Eastern, $100 giveaway to people engaging throughout our week. John, pretty good day, pretty good week, red hot. Have a nice little weekend card coming up here, and voice is coming back a little bit for you. How you doing today?
The voice is coming back a little bit, like the Twins came back that game, and the Nats came back in that game. A couple of games, some late inning heroics. You know, I get a lot of guys. Why don't we bet first five? We could have won this game if we bet first five. Well, a couple of games yesterday that we would have lost if we bet first five. I bet full games. I don't go for that first five. I don't do props. I don't do the run line. We bet the pitching line, pitcher listed pitchers, the dime line. That's it. Don't mess with totals. Anyway, we stick to what we know. We don't branch out to what we don't. No college sports. No UFC, no golf, no racing. But if you want the best, and I mean the best, MLB, NFL, and there's nobody, absolutely nobody better than NBA. You want that best information, this is the place to get it.
Absolutely is. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and check out the How to Beat the Bookie website or download the app. You guys know we're not here on weekends. So if you guys want all this information throughout the weekend, that's the place to go. And especially once football comes around here. Going to have some college games tomorrow. Actually, my first college reads there on the app as well. So if you guys want all this football information coming your way, that's the place to sign up. John, let's go ahead and dive in here. We have a nice little Friday card. You guys know Friday's typically pretty hectic, but especially once football gets in full swing of things, Friday's really hectic with injury reports, everything else coming in. This first game we have, Nationals at the Marlins. Nationals get it done for us again last night against the Yankees. Another big-time dog there. Originally had it plus 82. And then add another half unit as it kept going up at plus 190. Cash those bets there. Texted John yesterday, another episode of today's 29th ranked Nats bullpen. They almost let it slip last night, but they didn't. They got a Don going today, and they might be needing that bullpen to be pretty sturdy today. Last two starts for him, 8 runs in 7 innings against the Phillies and the A's. 2 starts versus the Marlins last year, 9 runs in 7 2/3. Going up against Garrett, who has a clear as day pitching advantage. He's been terrific lately. Last 5 starts, 3 of them quality starts, 2.57 ERA. Last time out, a quality start against a red-hot Dodgers team. Marlins have owned this matchup. You guys know we like to take the value in the Nats. Tough to do it here with this pitching matchup. Coming off a series there against the Yankees, this would be a slightest of leans just from a price standpoint here to the Nats. Not looking to buck the ownership trend and really not looking to buck the pitching edge.
Yeah, they're just not giving the Nats the respect that they should. And yesterday was just a joke. Thank you, sharp guys. The Yankee game opened 165 yesterday. When I took 182 in the morning, I thought that line would go down. It went against us. That's why we pressed it a little bit, another half unit, and we buried that game. Today's line, this is what we call an overlay. There's no way the Marlins should be a 2-1 favorite. They're 12-24 since the All-Star break, just 7-9 at home. But they own this matchup. And when I say own, I mean own. All 6 meetings this year, 21 of the last 26, and 8 of the last 9 in Miami. As Ben already said, big pitching advantage with Garrett over Adone. I'm chomping at the bit. The better just cannot buck that trend, can't buck the pitching mismatch. So we'll stay off of this one.
And then we have another ownership matchup, Cubs at Pirates. Yesterday wasn't complete dominance, had to get it done in extras, but they still pulled it out. Cubs win it 5-4 in the 10th. They've now won all 7 this year by a combined 53-18. Interesting pitching matchup. Couple of guys who been up and down a little bit, but been pitching better lately. And Hendricks versus Keller, both of them coming off a pair of quality starts, allowing 4 runs in 12 innings. Then you have, as far as the matchup history there, Hendricks against the Pirates in June, 1 earned run in 6 1/3. And then you have Keller, who in 2 starts versus the Cubs this year, or 2 outings, I should say, 3 runs in 8 2/3. This is Cubs or nobody. Absolute ownership. You have Pirates who are just not in the race. Cubs very much so in the race, holding one of those wild card spots right now with Arizona, currently in that 5-team NL wild card race. Give me a team with a pitcher who's pitching decent right now as a cheap favorite in division matchup. This is Cubs or nothing.
Yeah, Cubs are nothing. Dominating the matchup is not the. Yesterday was the only close game they've played of all 7 meetings this year. Cubs have beat them by a combined 53-18. And going back to last year, they've won 12 of the last 13 meetings. Cubs getting hot again. They've won 5 of 6, scoring 5.67 runs per game. Gotta want them at the Pirates. Cubs are nobody.
We have Cardinals at the Phillies. Mikolas versus Sanchez. Cardinals coming off losing 2 of 3 against the Pirates. Phillies, they took 2 of 3 from San Francisco. Phillies, they won 4 of 7 meetings in the regular season last year. And then they took a pair of games in the wild card there to knock out the Cards last season. So maybe a little bit of revenge factor. But can't back St. Louis. Can't do it now. Mikolas 0-3, 5.40 in August. Last 2 starts, 11 runs, 3 homers, and 11 innings. For Sanchez, he's coming off a pair of quality starts. He's been really pitching well. I mean, for a guy who's supposed to be the 5th man in the rotation, pitching really above his pay grade. So Sanchez going well. Phillies have something to play for here. Cardinals, I guess they technically have something to play for in a revenge, playoff revenge standpoint. Outside of that, dead team playing bad baseball right now. No interest in the Cardinals with Mikolas on the bump. Slight lean here to the Phillies, but I would need lower on this price.
Yes, Sanchez has been real good, and the names. Here's where name recognition comes in. Sanchez pitching better than Mikolas right now. There's no doubt about it. So that line might be a little bit low. But as Ben said, do the Cards get up? A little playoff revenge possibly, yeah. Again, would have to be lower if I want to be interested in Philly. St. Louis is a dead team. Don't want nothing to do with St. Louis. Definitely not betting the dog.
And then today's episode of Padres being overpriced. It's Darvish versus Woodruff. Padres are coming off taking 2 of 3 from Miami. They go 5-5 on the homestand, under 500 on the road. Then you have this Milwaukee team who playing decent ball right now, really good ball right now. They're coming off back-to-back sweeps. Last one against Minnesota after sweeping Texas, 9-3 to the last 12. This is Brewers are nobody. I mean, you're looking at 2 sides here. A pick'em game essentially with a team who's top of their division, and then you have another team who's just been underperforming all season long. 2 months we've been telling you guys they overvalue San Diego. The Sharps keep betting San Diego. Nothing changes here. Woodruff coming off his worst start this season, but prior to that was pitching solid. Darvish wrecked his last 2 starts, 8 runs in 12 innings. Brewers are nobody.
Yeah, Brewers are nobody. San Diego overvalued. Brewers undervalued. They bet against the Brewers the last 5 games. They bet against them in the Texas series, kept trying to catch Texas to get a W. They didn't. They bet against them in both games. In the Minnesota series, we actually had the first game of that game when we bet Milwaukee as a small favorite. More of the same here. Woodruff, not great outing last time. He's just coming back, just trying to get back into playoff shape. Woodruff, the Brewers are 23-8 in Woodruff's last 31 starts. 38-13 his last 51 starts at home. He's done well against the Padres. Excuse me, guys, the voice just still isn't there. Faced them twice in 2021, allowing 1 run over 13 innings. Short number. Sharps bet this game down from -1.25. It's sitting at -110 now. It's Brewers or nobody.
And we have this matchup, a lot of wild card implications to it. Reds and D-backs. Reds go in with a half-game lead last night, come out now down by a half game in the wild card race. Arizona pulls it out. D-backs do catch a bad break, though. Kelly, phenomenal start, 12 Ks, no walks, only 1 hit in 7 innings. He gets pulled out. He's trying to go out for the 8, starts warming up, so we'll see how that affects him down the stretch.
They did say he would be. They think he'll be ready to make that next start. So that's what came out of the clubhouse last night.
Crazy game after that, though. Reds, as soon as Kelly comes out, they put up 2 runs, and then Corbin Carroll, bottom half of the 8th, answers with a home run, 2 runs themselves. It's Green versus Fat today. You have Green, who's been just brutal in his return. 9 runs, 8 earned, 10 hits, 5 homers. Really roughed up there by Toronto. Did have a good start last year against the D-backs with 7 shutout innings. Fat going here for Arizona, and he's been pitching pretty well, all considered. 0-2, 2.96 so far in August. Last start, phenomenal. Held the Padres to 1 hit and 7 shutout innings. They still lose that game. That was at San Diego. Had a quality start at Cincy earlier this year. but he's another one of these pitchers. And for the D-backs, struggling at home, 0-4, 7.96 ERA and 7 home starts. So saw that with him, saw that with Nelson. Even Kelly, to a certain extent, was like that earlier this year. He's kind of bounced back, been more consistent at home. That's been a little bit of a theme of some of these D-backs pitchers, and that's one with him. Green, yes, horrible's last time out, just a big price here. I don't think the edge here for I don't see an edge here for Fat by any means, despite as well as been pitching as well as he has. This is Reds or nobody. Big dog price for what I said yesterday. 2 teams in a dogfight in the wild card race. Got to take the plus money there.
Yeah, look, we're catching Reds perfect. We stayed off yesterday. I told you guys, coming off a tough doubleheader in travel. Arizona was off. Diaz, most saves in baseball through 24 pitches. In the nightcap against the Angels the night before. They used them 2 days in a row. They wouldn't use them yesterday. Where did they get hurt? They get hurt in late innings with the relief. So you had a tied Reds team, comes in, gets only 3 hits. I think it was struck out 16 times. Expect them to bounce back today. Green, horrible. I mean, absolutely awful outing. His first game back in over 2 months. He's not that bad. In fact, who had his best outing of his Major League career, he's not that good. That's why it's a low overlay. 2 teams fighting for the wild card. Cincy, still 3rd best record in the National League on the road. Just the Braves and Dodgers better. Since you're nobody at that number.
Yeah, it's kind of what we mentioned too with Liberatore a couple weeks back when he goes and has that phenomenal 1-hit, 8 shutout innings against Tampa Bay, and then he was just kind of due for a letdown spot after that as a pitcher. So we did see.
Can you punch up ESPN? I'd like to show the guys a little something that might help them out. If you could punch up ESPN and put it on the screen big enough, just give them a little stuff that might help them.
Yeah, where do you want me to go here?
You go to ESPN, click on Major League Baseball teams, and just click on the Cincinnati Reds.
All right, pull this up for you guys.
And once you click on the Reds, underneath the headings, just go to the top game, which is today's game at Arizona Diamondbacks, and click on that. Perfect. That circle in there, that's their, according to their ESPN analytics, that's the percent who's going to win this game. They use a different method than we do. They've got Cincinnati the favorite. I'll tell you right now, I don't have Cincinnati the favorite, but I don't have the line as high as it should be. So just going to give you guys an idea how a number is made. So if you take Cincinnati, they've got them 54, and they've got, in other words, they should win 54% of the games if they played 162 times, let's call it, while Arizona should win 46% of times. Well, to get a number, to get the line, you take 54, the top number, divide it by 46, and you'll come with 1.17. And that's what your line should be. Let's give them another one, Ben. If you take it to Milwaukee, the game just above, and let's do the same thing, go in Milwaukee spot that next game. So they've got Milwaukee 60.1 and Padres 39.9. Well, take that 60.1, divide by 39.9, and you'll come up with Milwaukee 1.51. That's what the money line that they feel it should be. This is basically how you make a line. Most of the other games are pretty much in line with what they should be. If we go, well, let's go up the prior game on the schedule, Ben. Take Philly. And get to that same spot. And we'll see Philly 58.6 to 41.4. Well, that percentage works out to a 142, 1.42, where right now that line is 1.40. Take it up a notch. We'll go back to the Cubs. And the Cubs, you're looking at 52.5 to 47.5. Divide that, and you come to 111. Well, if you look right now, that line is sitting at approximately 115. So just to give you guys an idea of how the line is made, percentages, wins, we use something similar different but similar. How many games we expect these teams to win if they were to play 162 times. So just giving you guys something that you may want to toy with. Most of the lines are right on there. Once in a while, a number is off. My numbers are not the same. Just happen to be, I lean to the same two sides, that there's a different number on ESPN today. So just thought that might be something interesting for you guys to mess around with numbers.
Yep. And for those of you guys who aren't members and aren't familiar, I'll pull up the How to Beat the Bookie. So that's like the top half of the ratings there. Those are the numbers that John uses and he adjusts. And those are what we use to create the lines there based off that. So the ESPN's one we were just showing, just kind of an idea of where those percentages are at. But as far as what we go off of, the lines we bet is John's lines based off his ratings, which all the members, you guys have access to those ratings, MLB, NBA, and NFL.
NBA and NFL, guys, is as easy as subtraction. Take the home team, take the road team, you subtract it. There's your base number. Obviously, other things come into play, but you have as good as a base number as you're going to get anywhere, and that I can guarantee.
This next game on the card, guys, we have Braves at San Francisco. This might be the pitching matchup of the card here. Strider versus Webb, pretty good. Strider been very terrific. Last two starts, 14 shutout innings, 16 Ks, 5 walks, one of those against the Giants. Webb last time out against the Braves, 4 runs in 6 innings there. Prior to that, had a nice start against the Rangers, almost went the complete game. And, of course, you guys know the story with Webb, solid at home this year, 5-4, 2.11 in 12 starts. This Braves team coming off a 7-2 homestand. The Giants, they returned from a 2-4 trip. They've been playing brutal baseball lately, but obviously they play much better at home. They're still in this 5-team wildcard race. You have the ace on the mound versus the best team in baseball on a Friday night. I imagine this is going to be a pretty good home edge, pretty good home environment. Webb, this is why you have your race. This is why you have your guy to go get the big win. This is San Francisco or nobody. Give me the ace as a home dog in this one.
Yeah, Sharp's already hit this one. This one opened $1.55 on the overnight, down to $1.40 now. This is San Fran nobody, just what Ben said. Strider has been lights out, and one of those games was against the Giants, allowing only 1 hit, 7 shutout innings. Even with that, just can't give him more than a slight edge at Webb. Webb dominates at home. Webb 2-0 with a 2.18 ERA in 5 career starts against the Braves, and at home 5-4, 2.11. San Francisco pitchers ballpark. This is going to be one of those 3-2 games, a pitcher's duel, worth taking the price with the home dog.
Yeah, and oftentimes what we've seen a lot this year with these pitchers, when they have matchups where they face the same team twice in a row, it's the same pitching matchup. Very rarely does one pitcher dominate both or one pitcher have a bad start both. Usually there's some type of fluctuation there, so we'll see if that trend continues. The next one, AL East matchup, Yankees at Tampa Bay. Another pretty good pitching matchup, Cole versus Eflin. Yankees, they're 1-10, their last 11, coming off another loss to the Nats, hitting just 197 right now. And then you have this Rays team who's just heating back up. They've won 6 of 7, AL best 43-22 at home. Cole coming off a bad start against Boston, a team he struggles with. Really, there's only couple of teams that are getting to him. These AL East teams, Boston, Tampa Bay. Outside of that, he's been terrific for most of the season. Last time out, 6 runs and 4 innings against Boston, and 3 starts to the Rays this year, 1-0, 4.76. Had a quality start in August, but at Tampa Bay earlier this year, gave up 6 runs in 5 innings. Then you have Eflin going for the Rays. 3 of his last 4 starts are quality starts. And he's been terrific at home this season, 10-3, 3.05 in 14 starts, 9 of them quality starts, really 2 bad home starts that really fluctuate that ERA. For a lot of the year, he was sub-2 in that ERA. This is Tampa Bay or nothing. I know Cole's on there. I know you're looking at a dog price with probably the AL Cy Young winner this season. I just have no interest in it. Rays need wins. They're trying to catch Baltimore. Eflin been pitching solid. And as good as Cole is, he struggles with Boston. He struggles with Tampa Bay. The better teams who see him a lot have no interest here in the Yankees, even though you're getting Cole at a dog price.
Yeah, I lean to Tampa Bay also. Have to be a little bit low for me to get to want to lay that favorite. Great pitching matchup, though. Cole tied for the Major League lead with quality starts, 4th in ERA. Don't sell Eflin short. He's been great at home. He's got the best whip in Major League Baseball right now. Tampa Bay starting to do it again, finding ways to win. Yeah, he was just against Colorado, but down 5-3 in the ninth, boom, tie it with 2 in the ninth, win in the 10th. They're turning it around. They're right off Baltimore's heels. Yankees, it's over. It's over, Yankees. What are you doing? don't know, and when I say this, I don't know how they were laying the Yankees yesterday against the Nationals. If you didn't like the Nationals, it's one thing, but to say you like the Yankees, who had lost 9 of 10 going into that game, just don't see it. Cole, Yankees, more name recognition. If you go to what I just showed you on ESPN, their number on this game, if you do the division, take the percent Tampa Bay's supposed to win, divide it by the percent Yankees are supposed to win, it's at 154. That's what they would think the line should be. This line right now is down around $1.30, $1.30-ish. The high is $1.34, 134. A little lower, but it's Tampa Bay and nobody. Yanks are a dead team. What I will say, Aaron Judge, 4 homers, 7 RBI last 2 games, and that's why Yankees are averaging 7.5 runs a game. So if he's busting out, when hitters hit, it's very streaky. So you got to be worried about Judge. But I want no part of the Yankees, even with Cole pitching, would be Tampa Bay and Eflin or nobody.
Yeah, for you guys who aren't members, obviously that was one of our bets yesterday. Members had the Nats, but for you guys who aren't members who are tuning into this, I hope you're becoming sharp enough not to lay that price with the Yankees. And if you had anyone who advised you to bet the Yankees yesterday, I would not pay that person any more. We have Astros at Detroit next, Valdez versus Manning. Houston yesterday. Boston absolutely embarrassed them. 24 hits, 17 runs. They go just 2-5 on the homestand. Seattle's flying past them now in the race. This is getting very interesting. Then you have this Detroit team who's playing decent ball right now. They're coming off a losing 2 of 3 to Chicago, 5-3 their last 8. Valdez since July, 2-3, 6.18, and that includes a no-hitter in there. Last time out, 6 runs in 5 innings for Seattle. Worse on the road, 4.43 ERA. I had a quality start versus Detroit earlier this year, but they lost that. And then Manning going, who's been solid his last 2 times out, 1 run and 11 1/3. He has reverse splits, worse at home, 1-2, 6.05. This is Tigers or nobody, playing good ball right now. Yes, you have Astros coming off being embarrassed, so obviously they're getting up for this game. They want to try to scratch that. Astros need this game. You have an opportunity to play one of these AL Central bottom feeder teams. Got to take advantage of that if you want to be in this race. Just can't make the price this high with Valdez. So spot more or less belongs to Houston. Just can't get there this number, especially Valdez would be Tigers or nobody for me.
Yeah, Valdez has been absolutely horrible outside of the no-hitter. So he gets the edge. Manning gets the edge there, believe it or not, especially Valdez. Terrible on the road all year long, 4.43 ERA. Why I haven't bet. Look, the numbers say bet Detroit. Just close your eyes, bet Detroit. Houston has pretty much owned the series. Now, Detroit did take 2 of 3 at Houston earlier this year, but Houston won all 7 last year. They're 11-2. Their last 13 in Detroit. The way they got embarrassed yesterday, no chance of them coming sleepwalking into this game. They now find themselves actually percentage points behind Seattle and in 3rd place in that tight Western Division race. They need W's. Valdez, he's supposed to be their ace. Now, not so much with Verlander there, but he's got to come up, step up, and give them a game today. But it's Detroit and nobody as a home dog at this number.
And we have Guardians at Toronto. Guardians lose both in the doubleheader to the Dodgers yesterday. Then the Blue Jays, they come off a 3-3 trip, losing the last 2 at Baltimore. Baby versus Bassett. Baby's been terrific since July, 5-2, 2.15. Last time out, 3 runs in 5 innings against the Tigers. Before that, had a pair of quality starts, including 7 shutout innings versus Toronto. Does have worse numbers on the road, 4.04 in 10 starts. Then you have Bassett going, who's been solid in August, 2-0, 3.32. Last time out, 2 earned runs in 6 innings versus Cincy. 2 starts versus Guardians last year, pretty solid, 2.08. This is, I want to bet Baby. I want to bet this Cleveland team just because Baby's been giving them great starts, keeping them in games. Tough to do it. Again, one of these matchups where Cleveland now falling further and further back and not as much so in that race there with Minnesota. Meanwhile, Toronto very much so in this intense wild card race. John, that brings me to a quick question, by the way. How many AL West teams or how many AL East teams do we get in this wild card? Are we seeing 2 teams from the East, 2 teams from the West? How do you think that's shaping up? Obviously, with Toronto right now, 1.5 game back. As far as this game, it's a slight lean to Cleveland, but I'm staying off of it.
Yeah, it's just tough. What I can tell you guys, if you go to ESPN again, you can use their percentages, and you'll see that they have Houston actually a higher percent, 82.7%, that they'll make the playoffs over Texas and Seattle, both right around 70%. Baltimore and Tampa Bay, foregone conclusions that they're both going to make it. And look, I'll still give the Red Sox an outside shot, and that's just that. It's an outside shot, but the way they put those bats, Red Sox hit, and they'll hit it home. Big series. They can't let Dodgers come in here and take 2 out of 3, or if they sweep them. They sweep them, they're done. They can go the way of the Yankees. But they do a great job, especially hitting it home. They're fourth as far as runs scored in their home ballpark, but they drop off on the road. Not so much yesterday, though, scoring so many runs. But, yeah, that's what it looks like. Houston was my pick to overtake Texas.
Yeah.
Once they got Verlander, I thought they shored up enough once Jordan Alvarez came back. But they're in a little bit of a funk right now. Seattle, the hottest team out of all of them. And as I said a couple of days ago, Seattle now, they'll start a stretch of 6 games against the 2 worst teams in baseball in Seattle. I said a couple of days ago, hey, Seattle should be in first place by this time next week after those 2 stretches. Still a lot of baseball to play. All those teams, the 3 teams in the AL West, and let's call it the 3 top teams, the 2 for sure, Baltimore, Tampa Bay, and Toronto, and the 3 West Coast teams. Those are the teams that'll juggle. Twins, foregone conclusion. Cleveland's dead. They were dead before even the trade deadline. Mm-hmm. They became sellers a half game out, and they've been playing terrible baseball since then. That's why I can't get behind Bibby tonight in this game, although I love the way this kid's been pitching. Bassett, different at home, getting the job done. He's been better. He's been better lately and pitches better at home. My number's not this high. I just can't back Cleveland. Also, they're coming off a tough doubleheader day-night yesterday. Then they travel, and that's going up to Canada. Don't like the spot. I'll stay off of it.
Yeah, Guardians obviously really banked up this year, but they could have one of the top rotations in baseball. Them in Seattle, a lot of young pitching once their pitching gets healthy. And you mentioned that Seattle 6-game stretch coming up, 6-game homestand against the 2 worst teams in baseball. They leave that, and they go on the road trip to the Mets. So that's 9 games in a row against dead teams. We'll see how they go. One of those dead
Mets
teams.
actually playing a little decent, and I could like them today with Senga against a real dead team.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that when we get there.
We'll get there. This next one's just a couple of gross matchups. Again, we have A's at White Sox. A's pull it out last night. Neal versus Cease today. Cease been brutal in August. 1-2, 6.75 in 4 starts. They allowed 3 runs in 5 1/3 and a loss against the A's earlier this year. He dominated them last season, but he's been a different pitcher this year. And Neal's going to be his first start this season. Made 7 relief outings. Last one, 5 runs in 3 1/3 versus Baltimore. This is Oakland or nobody. I mean, Oakland playing decent ball right now. They've won 3 of 4 here. They're scoring. White Sox don't deserve to be this big of a price. They're just a step above Kansas City here. Cease, he's not pitching up to the name. This price is name only. He does still get the pitching edge. Not warranted to be this big of a favorite. Sharps have already taken this number down a little bit. Don't blame them. Just feel like we missed the boat a little bit with Oakland yesterday. Don't want to get on them today, but can't let this price with White Sox. A's are nobody.
Yeah, he's a nobody. That's why the Sharps are on him. This game opened 205. That's a ridiculous number. This isn't Cease from last year. This is Cease from this year. 6.75 ERA and 4 August starts. White Sox, again, this team's been dead since long before the trade deadline. Obviously, no laying them. Got to see who's going to follow Neal. They did a good job yesterday. A's a nobody, but not interested. The number that to take was the overnight line where you could have took 186. It's already beat up that line.
And we have Rangers at Twins. Twins, one of the winners from last night. They hit a run, get a run here, get a run there, and then they had the big 3-run inning to overtake the lead. They win at 7-5. They have now Texas won 5-7 meetings last season. Texas, though, 7 in a row. They have lost, scoring 3.14 runs per game, hitting 208. Bats falling off a little bit, 6-14 their last 20 road games. So a lot of struggles here going for them. Meanwhile, Minnesota playing decent ball right now, really starting to pull away from Cleveland, as we were mentioning before. 11-4 at home since the All-Star break. Really, just look at those 2 stats: the road trends and the road or the losing streak in general for Texas, 7 in a row. The home success for the Twins. Pitching numbers, Dunning in August, 2.81 ERA. Gray in August, 2.81 ERA. Twins roughed up Dunning earlier this year. Last year for Gray, he had bad numbers against Texas. So two pitchers going well right now. Bad history against the opposing team. Give me the team that's 11-4 at home versus a team that's lost 7 straight, not getting it done on the road. At, again, a similar cheap fit home favorite price to last night that we laid with Lopez.
Yeah, Texas is gagging. Bad. They're feeling the heat. Mariners in Houston, 1 game behind them right now. They got to close out that game last night. They get off to a big lead. They can't hold it. It's another nail in their coffin. Texas now, with the 7-game losing streak, 3.14 runs per game, hitting just 208. And as Ben said, just 6-14 their last 20 road games. The voices are going worse and worse. But they need a W. While Minnesota now a comfortable 6-game lead in their division over a dead Cleveland team. Game means more to Texas. They need this game. Not saying bet Texas. Texas on a falling knife right now. I just think the price is right. I don't see much of a value edge there. Texas, another thing I will say about them, second in scoring, overall scoring at 5.61 runs per game, but just about a full run, 0.99 of a hundredth on the road less than they do at home. 6.09 runs per game at home, while 5.1 runs per game on the road. So obviously a lot less on the road. That coincides with what their road record is. Minnesota is a much better team at home. You know, we bet against them on the road. We got Milwaukee the other day. But I think the number's right there in a must game for Texas. So I'll stay off of this one.
Then Royals at Seattle, starting the 6-game stretch here against the bottom tier leagues. I will say this is probably the one and only I'm going to lean against the Mariners on this 6-game stretch. I like Kansas City in this spot, Singer versus Miller. Now you have Kansas City, who's coming off a win against the A's, snaps a 4-game losing skid. Meanwhile, Mariners, they're returning from the trip. They lose the last game, snaps the 8-game win streak. Now we saw their first 8-game win streak. They lost 3 in a row afterwards. Usually after the streak snaps, there's a little bit of regression. We'll see if that regression continues here. Singer, he was roughed up his last time out. He has been brutal on the road this year, 3.5, 6.75 ERA. Prior to that last road start against the Cubbies, 3 quality starts, 2-0, 2.05. Royals had won his 4 prior starts. One of those against Seattle, 2 runs in 7 1/3. Miller's been very good his last 3 starts, 2 earned runs, 17 innings. One of those, the last one, 6.1 shutout innings against Houston. Pitching edge, it's a little bit of a toss-up here. Going to give it slightly to Singer with the history. Obviously, the bad road numbers, you can look at that out of the way Miller's been going lately. KC, big price here. Just think that we might see Mariners have a little bit of a drop-off after the big win streak. Definitely due to regress after what they've done over the, 16-4 their last 20 games. So due for a little bit of regression. Maybe they drop a couple here, drop the first one on the homestand, and then settle in. This is Royals or nothing for me.
Sharps, agree with you, Ben. That line opened at 186 on the overnight. Right now, you're looking at about 175. So a little money showing up for Casey and Singer. I just don't agree. Singer banged out his last time out. Was pitching real good baseball before that. But Miller's pitching just as good or better. Last 3 starts, just giving up 3 runs, 2 runs, and 17 innings. Put that together with he pitches better in Seattle. Seattle's red hot. KC's second worst road team, score the fewest runs in Major League Baseball while on the road. No reason to back KC against the red hot Seattle team. Again, they got caught sleeping that last game at Chicago. They won't get caught sleeping today in the home opener of this homestand.
Then we have Rockies at Baltimore. Rockies coming off getting swept by Tampa. They've now dropped 4 straight. They're obviously the worst NL road team, 20-46. And then you have this Orioles team. They've now won 5-6. They win the last 2 against Toronto. 2 games ahead of Tampa Bay right now. And they need these wins just as bad as Tampa Bay needed them against Colorado. Rockies turn, just getting beat up here on these East Coast AL East teams. Freeland versus Irvin today. Irvin's been solid last 2 times out. 1 run in 10 innings, 9 Ks, 2 walks. Freeland in August, 6.14 ERA. Anytime any of these Rockies pitchers have worse numbers on the road, very concerning. 1-9, 5.40 ERA and 11 road starts. Can't back Freeland here. No interest in the Rockies. Not necessarily advocating for betting Baltimore, But hey, if you were betting Tampa Bay every game against Colorado, couldn't blame you. And if you bet the Baltimore or every game here against the Rockies again, couldn't blame you. You have a team who's trying to pull away with the division against the worst road team in the NL. Can't knock you for doing that.
Yeah, I want no part of Rockies on the road. They're dead. End of the season's coming. Rockies the only team that has a bigger run differential at home and away than the aforementioned Texas. Rangers almost a run. Rockies just a totally different team. Obviously, Coors Field hit his paradise. On the road, they're 29th in baseball in runs scored. Worst National League team, Colorado, best American League team, Orioles. You just could the Orioles fall asleep here after a tough Toronto series? Irvin, this was their big offseason acquisition. He stunk it up early, sent them down to the minors, came back, pitched good relief, couple of good outings, getting his stuff back together. Freeland's been awful on the road. I don't want no part of Colorado in this one.
And we have a fun matchup with the Dodgers at Fenway. Dodgers coming off the doubleheader sweep. They've won 4 or 5, 19-3 their last 22. Lead MLB scoring on the road. And then you have this Red Sox team coming off the massive 17-1 win over the Astros. 6-4 on the trip. They won 5 of the last 7 scoring. They are up there top 5 in the league offensively at home. You guys know we talk about that all the time. Batting .286 at home this season. Interesting pitching matchup. Lynn versus Crawford. Lynn so far been terrific for the Dodgers. 3-0, 1.44. But let's take a closer look at how he's been terrific. Those 4 starts, Rockies, Padres, Oakland, and the Milwaukee. If you look at the bottom 5 hitting offenses, 3 of those 4, Brewers, Padres, Oakland, they're in that bottom 5. The start with the Rockies was them on the road. Rockies, bottom 5 road offense in baseball. So bottom 5 offenses, great numbers. Can he do it now against a team who hits the best at home in one of the most hitter-friendly ballparks? Big flip of the switch there. Meanwhile, you have Crawford, who's brutal at home as well. 0-3, 5.95 in 11 outings. Has been good in August, 2.84 ERA. This is a slight lean to Red Sox as a home dog, but a really big lean to the over in this matchup. Top scoring road team in baseball, one of the best home offenses in baseball. Then you're going to look at Lance Lynn, who's had the best options he could have faced coming into the Dodgers as far as bottom 5 offense after bottom 5 offense. Crawford struggles at home. Give me a couple of the best offenses here in this situation for the over.
Yeah, this is going to be Red Sox or nobody. Dodgers, doubleheader yesterday. They were held up a little bit by rain again. You've got Lynn, who's been great since coming over, but as Ben mentioned, against 2. I mean, I could strike out all the fucking Little League kids if I'm pitching against them.
Yep.
But yeah, even after these great 4 outings for the Dodgers, he's still 55th out of 56 eligible pitches in ERA. Doubleheader. Do the Dodgers rest anybody? It's Friday night in Boston. Maybe not. Game is just so much more important to Red Sox than it is Dodgers. Dodgers have now opened up a 12-game lead. Foregone conclusion. They'll be the 2 seed. Braves will be the 1 seed unless something crazy happens going down the stretch. Just don't need every game that important. I thought they'd rest guys yesterday, and we said that. We were looking to bet Cleveland in game 2 if the Dodgers rested anybody. Besides Will Smith, the catcher, they played everybody. We'll see what they do tonight. But the lean has got to be to the Red Sox, a game that means more to them than the Dodgers. Lynn, when he was in the American League, getting lit up. He's looked better with the Dodgers. We'll see what happens tonight.
Yeah, this is also Mookie Betts' first game back in Boston and second time they've met since the 2018 World Series. So if anyone's taking the day off, I will not think it's Mookie Betts, maybe Freeman or someone else. We'll see what happens there. Then we have Angels at the Mets, couple of dead teams, just the Angels, absolute dead horse right now. Obviously, you get the news about Ohtani and Trout. We went over it yesterday. We'll see what's going on with Ohtani. Apparently probable to DH. He's going to plan to continue hitting until he decides if he's having surgery or not. Waiting to see what goes on there. Sandoval versus Senga. Sandoval last 2 starts, 11 runs and 7 1/3. And then you have Senga, 3 straight quality starts, 3-0, 2.84. Big price for the Mets, and I can't believe I'm leaning that direction. I just want no part of the Angels here. This is Mets or nobody. Complete 2 pitchers going in different directions, 2 teams going in different directions. Although Mets don't have much to play for, playing good ball right now. Senga pitching great ball. Cannot play. The Angels have no interest whatsoever.
We believe it'll be Sandoval as his start, but he's been absolutely crushed his last 2 starts. And Angels have not named the starting pitcher. Could possibly be using an opener. We'll wait and see. But as Ben said, it's Mets or nobody. Now, it depends what the price is. I wouldn't lay more than $1.50 on the Mets if I was opening and Ben was closing. And his dad got a couple of innings in there. So we'll see what that line goes and what the pitching story will be for the Angels. This is a dead team. Both teams are out of it, but more so the Angels. Look what they've gone through in these last few days. They activate Trout. He plays 1 game, back on the IL. Ohtani, torn UCL. He's not pitching for the rest of the year. We talked about it yesterday, I believe, here and on Instagram. I'm going to go and say this cost him $100 million. I mean, here's the more you think about it, does this guy even pitch anymore? The only way he's going to pitch again, he's got to do Tommy John surgery. Does he go through this? Can he still hit? He's going to do that today. The fucking guy hit a home run, bottom of the inning, in the last game that he was taken out of, and I'm sure he'd already torn the UCL by then. So we'll see what he decides to do. But just a beat-up Angel team since the trade deadline. We'll see who they're pitching. If it's Sandoval, he's been torched. Senga's been good. Mets have played a little competitive at least. Going to St. Louis, which ain't saying much. Taking one at Atlanta. They come back home. They've been better at home all year. Maybe they get a win at home. We'll see what the line is and who the pitchers are.
That is the Friday card, guys. So far, a couple of bets out to members. Going to be adding a few more based on these line movements, injury reports, everything else. And if you guys want information throughout the weekend, you know where to go. College football going on tomorrow. NFL preseason all weekend. Preseason action tonight. You guys know we don't keep up with it too much. Hottest side of the night, though, the 49ers gone from a 3.5 opener up to 7.5. So if anyone's looking to play something, that's where all the money's been going. And we got tune in on the lives. Today's going to have the first one. You guys will already know who won the giveaway. So whoever won it, congratulations as you're watching. And make sure you guys continue to show support with engagement throughout the week. John, don't know if you have anything else anymore. I know we got a live to get to.
Yep, just to touch real quick that NFL exhibition. Both hot sides absolutely crushed last night. Steelers and Colts. As I've told you guys before, I do not do exhibition. There's money to be made there. The shops know what the hell they're doing. Watch the line movement in exhibition.
Nope, watch the line movement there, guys. And we'll be back on Monday. Make sure you guys go check out the How to Beat the Bookie app or check out the website. Become a member. Get all the information throughout the weekend. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's make some money, John.
Let's keep it going over the weekend. We'll see you guys Monday.